And what is up? We're live. Technically not live, but we're just, let's move right past that. My name is Lex. I'm here with my good buddy Jesse.
Yo, what up?
What is up, Jesse? This is the MMA Bro Podcast. Episode 2. We made it. 2 episodes in. We didn't get canceled after the first one, so not yet. Not yet. Let's see. Not knock on wood. But just before we get into our usual show format, as you know, Jesse is our newest addition to the Awkward Side Hug network and overall platform. And Steven of the Awkward Side Hug had some fighting words, so I don't know if you wanted to take this opportunity to respond. If you guys didn't listen to the most recent episode of the Awkward Side Hug, episode 3, one of the questions asked was, why is Steven so against early commencement? And Steven just kind of went off for like 5 minutes in a row, it seemed like, and saying all these reasons why he was against it. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to respond if you wanted the chance to.
I like dressing up, man. That's it.
What did he say? He was like he celebrated Halloween early, dressed up as a graduate.
That's why I like dressing up so much. That's why I went to a career fair and pissed off Brian.
Oh, okay. That's the funny thing is like you pissed off Steven by graduating early, and then you pissed off Brian by already having a job and then going to the career fair after. So it's like, man, you can't win, man. You could either be early or late. But
I'm trying to bust a DeAndre Jordan up in here.
yeah.
Oh, man. But my response would be to that short dude. What's his name? Steven. Is that okay? So for me, graduation, I don't care about it. Like, it wasn't really for me. It was for my parents, because they put you through it. They support you, right? So it was more for them, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna suffer being in this, it was hot, dude. It's hot as hell out there.
Oh yeah.
There is no like covers whatsoever. Cal Poly does like the shittiest thing. And preparing for this like graduation, dude, did not care about it.
Yeah, right in the middle of the heat. And I remember Brian's graduation the year before was super intense, but
right?
Yeah, but you could always join me in my graduation too this year. So just graduate twice, you know.
Oh wait, that's the one we went to Brian, right?
And the year before.
And then
that was Brian's.
Did he come to mine?
So anyways, let's recap these last 2 parts. So
but anyways, so I just did it for my parents, but also if I'm going to be doing it, I want to graduate with my buddies. And I'm not going to go finish one class, work for a semester, and then come back another year and graduate with people I don't give a fuck about.
Like, who the fuck is these guys?
Exactly.
But, man, that's there it is. Steven, the ball is in your court. You've been called out.
Try to dunk it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Dang, he said he only does layups. But yeah, shouts out to Steven. Shouts out to Brian. Shouts out to the
good folks. All those guys.
Yeah. Great guys. The Awkward Side Hug podcast. But yeah, of course, we are the MMA Bro podcast. Moving on. And so let's get back to the usual format and start off with reviewing the previous 2 cards that just happened. So 2 weeks ago, we had the Mexico City card. Woof. Okay, so I don't know why I barked into the mic, but I did that. I felt like a dog apparently.
That was rough.
Yeah. So, man, where do we start here? I mean, it has to be Yair versus Stevens, right? The eye poke.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
So if anyone didn't know or didn't watch the fight, unfortunately, this was a really great fight in the making. There was a lot of talking between them, and unfortunately, 15 seconds into the match, Yair extends a jab essentially, and both his fingers technically go into Jeremy Stevens' eye. And the referee tries to save the fight by giving him as much time as possible to recover from the eye poke, but he just couldn't open his eye, and the doctor had to stop the fight.
Yeah, and there was some immediate reactions from people like Ben Askren, and I know Paulo Costa eventually voiced his displeasure. But I think the majority of the MMA community kind of agrees that it was an accidental eye poke. Obviously, 15 seconds in, you know what I mean? But like some people did bring up a good point. It's like, hey, are eyes supposed to like stay shut like that? Like I feel like like yeah, it'll be irritated. But I think Ben Askren was like, hey, can we get an eye doctor on this one? He's like, because like from the pictures in the video, his eye was completely closed, but it wasn't really bruised or anything. So it was almost like he was shutting it on purpose. Is I guess what like the naysayers were saying. But no, I mean, to me it looks like it was a real eye poke, and because I think everyone could agree, Stevens is an absolute dog, and like he's a fighter 100%. But man, what I kind of want to touch on is Yair Rodriguez's reactions to all this, because he had the perfect opportunity to just be like, post-fight interviews, like, oh man, like my bad guys, obviously it was an accidental eye poke. I know Stevens is a warrior, but let's just run this back type of thing, right? As my buddy Daniel suggested when we talked about it. And but what ended up happening, obviously, is Yair just kind of blew up on everyone. So like the first person he blew up on, it seems like, was, I guess you could technically consider Stevens, right? So he was like raising his hands as if he won. Yair was, and then
getting
like
the crowd pumped up.
Yeah, getting the crowd pumped up. Then it seems like he was getting mad at Stevens, like, hey, like he doesn't want to fight. Yeah. Obviously, Michael Bisping comes in, puts his hand on the shoulder, ready to do the post-fight interview, blows up on him. Like, Bisping didn't flinch a muscle. He was ready to make his KO return. But yeah, Bisping handled that like amazingly, by the way. Yeah. And so for me, just like seeing like the hotel footage like the day after when they got into it. At first, it kind of looked like Jeremy Stevens popped off right away, but when I heard Jeremy Stevens' side of the story of how like Yair was checking up on him from far away, so he was like, okay, so this guy's probably being nice about it. And as soon as they got face to face, that's when Yair was talking trash. Like, what happened,
what happened, man?
What happened? You're gonna have to live with this for the rest of your life. And I guess that's when he pushed Yair, right? Like the footage was kind of bad, so I thought he smacked him at first. Oh shit, like, hey, dude, that's wild. But dude, yeah, Yair's reaction to this whole thing is he's angry, obviously, right? Because he trained, I get it, like a couple months or a month or whatever it was, and then 15 seconds and it's over. Sounds like a lot of my past dates, but yeah, I would be angry too, right? But I feel like he was channeling all of this anger towards all of the wrong people. So what it seemed like to me, it looked like he was angry at himself almost, right? It's like, oh man, like, like obviously I didn't do that on purpose, but like because of the eye poke, it's done now, right? We had to reschedule it, which thankfully they did. But he didn't know how to channel that anger, so he just kind of blew up on Michael Bisping. He blew up on Stevens, and then like for the rest of the day, like, oh, this is Stevens' fault. And I was like, man, so like that kind of, I don't know, like that's kind of what it seems like to me. But what do you think just out of the whole situation?
There's two things I think. Okay, one, I think Yair doesn't believe it's his fault at all. He's blaming it on Jeremy Stevens, and honestly, he comes off as a brat.
I agree.
It's not like Yair comes from the slums of Mexico. He actually comes from a wealthy family. Mm-hmm. So this guy, I'm pretty sure, is used to getting it his way. But there's also, I've heard rumors that it's Yair trying to sell the rematch.
Maybe, but
I'm not 100% sure. But
I don't know if that clicked in his head right away. Like after the eye poke and the match was stopped. But
I don't know. I feel like more people are going to tune in now because of it. I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm saying there's a possibility.
Exactly.
But for Yair to think that Jeremy Stevens is some punk that's not willing to fight him. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, he fought Zabit when you weren't willing to fight him.
Yeah, that's a tough fight.
You were trying to dodge this dude, and Jeremy Stevens, took him on. He lost by points, but Jeremy Stevens is a dog. He'll fight anytime, any place.
Yeah, I think it was just Yair just lost control of his emotions, and for some reason he's sticking to those same emotions days and weeks after the fight. But at least we get the rescheduled match in Boston coming soon. But other than that, like on the Mexico card, the crowd was wild too, and I get it, right? Like the UFC community kind of like expressed their disdain towards the Mexican fans, but at the end of the day, that's how the Mexican fans are. If you look at like soccer, for example, the soccer fans, they're throwing all types of stuff on the and I'm not saying that's acceptable, but it's just unfortunate because now the UFC has caught a glimpse into like what the rowdy fans are like over there. And yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Like, thankfully no one got super injured, but very unfortunate that it happened when they started throwing all the stuff. And like Carlos Barza had like a beer thrown on her because of like they were
because of the whole situation.
But because my bae Alexa Grasso lost. But
which I heard was
it was a close fight. It was a good fight. Yeah. It was a pretty close one. So I mean,
but also to name another person that was being an asshole was Brian Ortega. He was leading the chants for pussy.
Oh, really?
Against Jeremy Stevens, yeah.
Oh, really? No way. Yeah. Like in the crowd that night?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can see there's a clip of him going like this, pussy, pussy, and the whole crowd starts chanting that.
Dang, yeah. My favorite was just like, and I could tell like it was like the initial reaction was the Mexican fans having fun, but like when they were giving Stevens time to recover a little bit, they were chanting like "Quiere llorar," like he wants to cry, like he wants to cry. I'm like, oh, so that was just kind of like a little bit of the humor shining through, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just like you could tell it was the rowdy fans, like the rowdy soccer type of fans that were there, because like I said, again going back to like that comparison, just sports in general over there is it could get rowdy sometimes, man. Like it's just the way it is there, unfortunately.
Yeah, like you have some people feeling like Grasso won that one, and then you have a draw.
Yeah. Oh, and also shouts out to Steven Peterson. I believe that's the highlight knockout that happened. The spinning back fist, that was crazy. So
that was nuts.
At least they got to see that. But just to move on, just so we don't take up too much time at the beginning here, the most recent card, which was at the Royal Arena, it was like a 10 a.m. start time. So I missed it, but I caught the highlights, and that was Jack Hermansson versus Jared Cannonier. And I don't think I made a prediction on this one on the last podcast, but I actually thought Hermansson was going to win. And, dude, Cannonier proved to be a beast. Like, what would you think of any of those? Or
so I was watching I didn't watch the fight, fortunately. I had something. I was preparing for a career fair.
The career fair.
I was pissing on Brian. So
yeah.
But I was watching the fight because I found it. Well, I didn't find it. I don't know how I saw it. I'm not gonna mention it. But
no illegal activities were.
It was cool to see Cannonier's fight IQ. Like I was watching it like, so Jack was trying so hard to take him down, and he was just shooting for the takedown, and then he started noticing the pattern, and then he just went for the uppercut when he went for the takedown, and it was just right on the dot and knocked him out.
Oh yeah.
One thing I was totally blown away is that I didn't know Cannonier used to fight in the heavyweight.
No way.
Yeah.
He seems pretty short, isn't he?
Yeah, he's short, and that's why I was so like caught off guard when I saw his like. He used to fight in the natural heavyweight.
I guess he's not too short. He's 5'11". He looked short in the interviews, but dang, that's wild. Heavyweight.
Yeah. I Googled him. He was a heavyweight bout at UFC 182, January 3rd, 2014. This dude cut down from being a heavyweight to what?
That was what, the 185?
No, welterweight, so... Yeah.
Welterweight?
Yeah, he fought in the welterweight.
Was that against Jack Hermansson?
Oh, middleweight.
No, middleweight. Yeah, still that's still
crazy.
Because that's still skipping light heavyweight. Or I'm sure he maybe did the gradual process, but that's still pretty impressive though.
Yeah, that's fine.
But other than that, I mean, my boy lost Khalil Roundtree Jr. I was looking up Muay Thai schools and just techniques online, and then when he lost, I was like, all right, maybe I'll just try to look at kickboxing. But yeah, so that was kind of like just a brief synopsis of the last two cards.
Mark Midson looks he's new.
Yeah.
He's a silver. He won silver medal in wrestling in the Olympics, and he looks good.
That's what I heard.
I was watching the highlight on that one too. That was obviously it wasn't that long. It was like 1 minute 12 seconds. So but he looked good in that. So I wouldn't be surprised. He's 9-0 right now. So
yeah, it's not bad. That was a good look for a couple people. I would say the last two cards, but yeah, I mean, before we move on to some more topics, I was actually going to ask too, just so the MMA Bro podcast listeners could know a little bit about ourselves. So obviously, we're not ourselves fighters, but we are big fans of just the fight game in general, MMA, and even like boxing from over the years. And boxing's been getting pretty good too recently. But yeah, as far as ourselves, Jesse, what have you said you did learn some jiu-jitsu, and have you ever done like anything else, or like what was your jiu-jitsu experience like?
Yeah, about that.
yeah. He's like, we don't talk about that here.
I just put that on my resume. No, I did jiu-jitsu for like a year, but unfortunately I was plagued with injuries. The first injury that took me out was I got a staph infection at the gym.
Yeah.
And the guy was trying to the coach was trying to blame it on that I got somewhere else. Like I was going to another gym, like I was going to an actual gym where you work out.
Yeah.
But I told him, like, dude, I canceled my why did I say dude?
Hey, sensei, bro.
Yeah. I canceled all my gym memberships. I only go here.
Yeah.
There's no other way I would have gotten this. And it turns out to be MRSA staph infection. And if you don't know what MRSA staph infection is, it's basically you need a lot of antibiotics, and I kept on getting misdiagnosed. So I was out for a long time. And then when I finally came back, I was a white belt, and I was gonna go for my, like, when I came back, I started going a lot more. I was going to get my first stripe. And then I pulled my groin.
Oh, that's a horrible injury.
And then after that,
That's so nice.
And then after that, I had to stop because I was planning going to El Salvador for like 6 months. So
yeah.
I stopped doing it, unfortunately. I'm thinking about going back. I know Gracie Jiu-Jitsu has a place.
I know him personally.
Yeah, we're cool. But he has a facilities in Victorville where I'm going to be moving.
Oh wow!
So,
shouts out to that.
Yeah.
Steve's going to tag along over there as well. But yeah, so man, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, just to give like a brief recap of my experience, I shouts out to my brother George. He actually put me in boxing when I was like 9 years old, and I did that for like a couple years. We went to the same boxing gym in Montclair. Shouts out Sanchez Boxing Club, I believe that's what it was called. And yeah, that was a fun time for me, fun experience, especially as a kid. You know, like learning techniques as a kid and like jabs and crosses and lefts. So that was pretty fun. And then I've been kind of doing it on and off. I tried going to like the Chino boxing gym for like a couple months when I was like in high school. But mainly I just kind of do it for like cardio now at the gym. At 24, they have like a...
They ran out free trials or what?
Yeah, exactly. I ran out of the free trial AOL discs, and they just wouldn't accept them anymore.
You're like, oh, once they say like, hey, can you input your credit card? You're like, I'm head out.
I'm head out. SpongeBob. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I just kind of do it for cardio now, as far as the boxing thing, and then I used to do wrestling as well. So shouts out to my other brother Eric. He got me into wrestling at Chino High School.
Dude, how many brothers do you have?
I have 3 older brothers.
No way.
Yeah, I'm the youngest too.
I legit thought you only had one older brother.
Really? Yeah. Dude, you've met 2 of them.
Wait, did I?
Yeah, you've already met 2 of them.
Wait, when?
Well, you met one outside. That was George, and then you know what? Maybe you haven't met Eric. Actually, never mind. But yeah, no, yeah, 3 older brothers.
Oh, okay, dang.
No, but yeah, and then like so he got me into the wrestling at Chino High School, and so I did it my freshman year, but I fractured my hand. And so I was out for like the first half of the season.
Oh, that sucks.
And so I got to basically only do like one tournament or like a few like meets and matches, but like the second half of the season basically. And then other than that, I practiced the entire sophomore year, but my grades were horrible. So I was that student. I think because my grades were so horrible, I remember I just sat out junior year, and then senior year I attempted it, but by that time I was like kind of on the fence about like even being able to graduate my senior year of high school, and I've just missed too many years of like wrestling experience that I think when I tried out for like the varsity spot in my weight class at the time, I got ragdolled. I got beat pretty easily, and I was like, I just didn't have it anymore. But yeah, that's why kids stay in school and get good grades, and maybe you can wrestle all 4 years and maybe be in the UFC one day. But yeah, so basically that's kind of like the the extent of what I know or what I've done is basically boxing and wrestling, and I still do boxing just for like for cardio nowadays. But
yeah, it's a good cardio.
Yeah, but yeah, some things we could possibly talk about. The whole Khabib situation and Tony Ferguson. So obviously, Tony is supposed to be the next in line.
Yeah.
But as the days and weeks and months pass by, man, I don't know. I don't like the verbiage and these headlines that we see from like Dana and like.
Yeah, if Tony agrees or Tony wants to.
Yeah, Dana's wording is just so suspect to me. He's like, oh, it's Tony's fight if he wants it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tony wants it. You know what I mean? And now Dana has recently lightened his stance on a possible Khabib versus GSP thing now. Mm-hmm. And like I read another headline where like Khabib was kind of like calling out like a picture that GSP posted. He's like, "Oh, you're a lightweight now." Yeah.
Yeah, because you look really slim.
Yeah, he slimmed down. But so what do you think of this whole situation though?
I don't know, man. It's like it's tough because I definitely want to see the Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, but I personally feel the result will be Khabib winning, and I feel like that's why Khabib is like overlooking Tony Ferguson for the GSP because. Tony Ferguson, I mean, that's a great fight, and obviously it's going to put another notch on his I guess what's it called, his legacy.
His legacy, yeah.
But I think his ultimate, like the thing that will make him look the greatest is actually beating GSP.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I think GSP is just old now. Like I'm not saying like he's too old to compete, but I don't know. His coach apparently said that he's past that. Like he's not ready to fight at all.
Yeah,
that's what his coach said.
GSPs or yeah.
So I don't know. I personally want to see the Tony Ferguson versus Khabib more than the GSP one.
Yeah, I mean that's the fight that has to happen. You know, the fans want it. I think it's what should happen, and then it's unfortunately being outweighed by money and what Dana wants or what Dana wants for the company money wise.
Yeah.
And like GSP is kind of the answer for that, I guess, but. Man, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the Tony one finally happens.
If they do the GSP, what do you think they're gonna have it in Canada or in Russia?
Ooh, that's
because I feel like
wild.
GSP has a huge following in Canada.
Yeah.
And
I would think they just to appease GSP, maybe they'll have it in Canada. But I don't know. I feel like that should be like a Vegas one, just so it's like neutral ground. Also, this is like a top legacy fight, maybe even for like the best fighter ever.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. And then, like, another topic that we wanted to cover last time. It's kind of old news, but just your boy Conor McGregor. What was going on with Conor, man? Just, like...
Dude, cracked out, man.
One thing after another.
That dude's on some type of drug.
Yeah, man. That old punching the old man footage. And, I think last time he said, he's like, dude, that guy has a chin, apparently. Or maybe just Conor's not that strong. Not as strong as we think, but...
Quick left.
I know, yeah, quick left. Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Bounce heads off the canvas.
Like, okay, so don't get me wrong. When Conor McGregor was up and coming.
Yeah.
Dude, I was hyped on him.
Exciting fighter, man.
This guy could talk, and that guy could talk really well, sell a fight. He had so many great lines. He's like Dustin Poirier. He has a chin. He has a weak chin, and Gus Tavares would knock him out.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that was so good.
Dude,
Or Jeremy Stevens, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
But and then I don't know, you just saw a huge switch against the Khabib fight. Even the against Money Mayweather, leading up, it was just like super cringy.
Yeah,
It was like two guys fighting the same persona about money, exactly. And then he keeps that persona, comes back, and is completely, I don't know, he's out of line.
Yeah.
Didn't he say his wife has a mop on her head?
Oh yeah, I guess
it was like a veil that they had.
Dude, yeah, man, it was like I guess something that's regarding his religion. Yeah, exactly, and like just like after every single UFC card now, like Conor just like calls out like the main event, like Amanda Nunes beat Cyborg. It's like give me the 145-pound strap. I'll take Nunes' head off.
And then apparently Gallagher, his teammate who just recently fought and won his match, says that Conor McGregor should wait until he gets what he rightfully deserves is a rematch. It's like, but dude, you've been out for how many years? You come back, get your ass whooped by Khabib, and he says he wins one round, but that one round he was like holding Khabib's gloves.
Yeah. It's just wild, man. It's just wild.
I I hope Conor gets his thing together because I honestly wish that he would come back hungry like he was before and take on a top 5 fighter. I don't want Frankie Edgar. I know people are saying that Frankie Edgar would be a good fight. No, it won't be. He's too small compared to... Like Conor McGregor said in the past, like if you don't have length on him, you're not going to win. Yeah,
and Frankie Edgar is always like... He's always given up length, height, weight on everyone. And even like going down to bantamweight now, like I think he's still outsized by Cejudo. You know, so it's just like, man... my boy can't win, but I mean before we get into like the next 2 cards, the only other topic I had on my notes was Rachel Ostovich, but nothing really to talk about. Just that she's absolutely gorgeous and will you marry me? And so that's it. But anyways,
dude, she's so hot.
Dude, she's so fire because she just posted a picture right now, like right before we started recording. I showed Jesse a picture that she posted on Instagram. And it's just that like her face is a little dinged up from like grappling or just the training session for that day, and dude, still so gorgeous. And
it's crazy. She has a really pretty face.
Oh man, it's just like I just want to pay her bills. You feel me? But yeah, so
I just wanted her to carry me to her bed.
Yeah, just like I'll be the stay-at-home dad, like whatever she wants,
And yell at Conor McGregor's face, "Smash me, mate! Smash me!"
yeah. Or Khabib was like I get to drink, I get to it was like I get to eat, and tomorrow night I get to smash someone. So I'll let her say that to me. It's okay. But so the next card is a big one. Marvel Stadium, Australia. We got a bunch of good fights here, but we got Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. Huge one. My prediction for that one is that it's not going to happen. I think something's going to happen to Robert, and it's going to get canceled. But like, I don't want to put that negative energy in the air, so I'll have you start this off.
So my prediction for this one is, I think Robert Whittaker will win via knockout, and I would think it would be probably in the 3rd round.
3rd round KO.
The reason why is because I was watching the Kevin Gastelum fight, and he got rocked. Like Kevin Gastelum late in the rounds, and dude, if Kevin Gastelum just kept on like pressuring him and had the cardio, man, it would have been over. So I'm thinking Kevin Gastelum isn't that strong, is a wrestler, and then you think of Robert Whittaker and what he's gone through with Yoel Romero. Mm-hmm. It's like that dude is strong, and Israel.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Israel is great. I think he's super talented, but I just don't think he's enough for Robert Whittaker. He has the length, but I don't think he has the strength.
Yeah.
I think Robert Whittaker is going to pressure him, and he's going to get in there and dirty box.
Oh man, yeah, this is a huge fight, and this is going to be insane. I'm super stoked for it, but if it does go down, I think, dude, I don't know. I'm going to have to go opposite. I think Israel Adesanya takes this fight. And I would probably predict, that it'll go the distance. It'll be unanimous or split decision. But I think it's gonna go to decision. I think Israel's gonna take it, to be honest. But that would be my bold decision.
Nah.
But co-main, we have Ali Quinta versus Dan Hooker. That's gonna be a crazy fight too.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. Dan Hooker's been looking really good in his last couple fights.
Yeah.
And he's in the same training camp as Israel.
Oh
yeah. They're from the same gym.
Yeah.
So he called out Al, and Al said, "I'll make him regret saying that, like calling out my name." So honestly, like Al,
he's tough, but
Al's the last guy that gave Khabib a really good
fight. Yeah.
And honestly, I think Al LaQuinta is gonna fucking win this one.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna win by knockout. That's what I think.
Man.
It's gonna, and I should say ground and pound knockout.
Jesse going bold today. I'm going to have to oppose that one as well. I think Dan Hooker is probably going to get it. It's hard to predict a stoppage against Al, especially like you said. Dude, tough as nails, went up, gave it to Khabib all rounds. But, I would say a decision on that one too. I guess I'm staying safe on my predictions. But, I would think that. But
Raquel Pennington was the girl I was talking to you about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one that you slid into the DMs, or? No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, dude, you can like watch a movie on her forehead. No, wow. she's funny. She looks like a good fighter. She looks like a good up and coming fighter. So.
Yeah, that one's canceled actually.
Yeah, because of Holly Holm.
But yeah, it looks like a dope card in general, stacked with a bunch of Aussies that are pretty tough. My bae Nadia Kassem's on this.
Robbie win this one. I'm a huge Robbie Whittaker fan, so I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think once he survives Yoel Romero 2 rounds, I don't think anything else stops him.
But yeah, let's get to the final or the card after that just to wrap things up. It's your bae is featured in the main event. It's going to be Michelle. My bad. I'm wilding right now.
Put some respect on that name.
Put some respect on the name.
Dude, hottest mom. Dude, hottest mom.
Yup. Hottest Mom Award goes to Michelle Waterson.
She has such a cool personality too. Like, she just seems like a really cool person.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Michelle Waterson in the main event.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
What do you think, man? What do you think?
I love Michelle.
If you had to put money on it.
If I had to put money on it, it's gonna be Joanna.
Oh, dude, it hurts. I see. I get it, man. I get it, cause like. I'm rooting for her, you know, like, not only is she, like, absolutely beautiful, but she's, like, such a good person, too, like, in all of her interviews, cool. You know, like, everything that we see from her, but I don't think she's
a badass.
Top-tier level. Joanna is top-tier level. I'm not sure if Michelle's there yet. I would probably have to put my money on Joanna.
You think Joanne, after she wins this one, she gets a title shot?
Maybe, yeah, because I think she's probably done enough at this point, But I think so. The co-main for this card as well is going to be...
Kron Gracie, man.
Dude, Kron Gracie versus your boy Cub Swanson.
I love Cub, man. Yeah. Cub is... I feel like he's so mistreated in the UFC.
Are you crying right now?
Dude, it just sucks, man. That guy had like a... Okay, at the Korean Zombie, he beat the Russian Hammer, what's his name?
Artem Lobov.
Yeah. And he was on a good streak, the greatest of all time. And then I would think that he was going to have one more fight and then the title shot, but then he had him they use him as a freaking
stepping
gatekeeper.
Stone, yeah.
And Brian Ortega put him in the guillotine, and Brian Ortega's really, really good at jiu-jitsu. And what is Kron Gracie?
Master of jiu-jitsu.
What's that last name say?
Gracie.
That's
the Gracie you know? I'm
saying. He's a weird Gracie. Though.
Dude, we were just talking about this the other day.
Strange. He's a strange dude.
He's kind of a weirdo, but then I was like, you know what? Everyone in that camp's kind of a weirdo. Like Nate Diaz, like Kron Gracie.
Yeah, because they're all vegan too, and they're like, yeah, they all live that vegan life. And then Kron lives in like Long Beach. Dude, I'm surprised I haven't run into him.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because like someone at the press conference for the New York one, Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, which man, that's gonna be crazy. Well, we'll talk about that at a later episode though. But someone asked Nate Diaz. In the crowd, he was like, hey yo, Nate, like, you guys are battling for the baddest mother effer title, but how can you be the baddest mother effer when you're vegan? And the crowd just started cracking up. You can tell that kind of embarrassed Nate, and he didn't know what to say. Yeah. He was like, man, but like he did kind of have a good response. Like when he said, he was like, man, he's like I'm the toughest motherfucker here, you know, like just got all tough on him. But
he was like, the Terminator is vegan, so shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, that's really funny.
But for my prediction on that one, it's gonna be, you know what? I know Cub Swanson has a tough time with Gracie, like people that do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But I feel like we already know what Kron's gonna go for.
Exactly.
And Brian Ortega has hands and he has jiu-jitsu. I don't think Kron Gracie has hands, so I think Cub Swanson only has to worry about one thing, and he's gonna knock out Kron Gracie.
Dude, you know what? I think we both had Kron the other day, and I think I'm also gonna switch. I also give it. My money would be on Cub, and I think by a stoppage. I think either he's gonna knock him out or he's gonna drop him, and you know.
I'd be careful if I was him. Like if I drop him, I'm not gonna get on top.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to finish him.
I'll let him get back up, and I'll just keep on dazing him.
Yeah.
If I have the capability, I'm talking like I can.
Yeah. No, and then we got Mackenzie Dern on that card. I predict that she's gonna come like 14 pounds over the fight limit. That was ridiculous, man. Yeah, her last fight.
That's the only guess we can
7 pounds over. It's like that. You have to do that on purpose at that point. You know, like barring any like serious medical conditions she might have had.
I can't believe she was allowed to fight.
Yeah, and she ended up winning too. So.
That was stupid.
But
I don't really care about Mackenzie.
Yeah.
But I hope Amanda Rivas. I don't know who you are. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I hope you win.
Yeah, shouts out to. But yeah, so that was this episode 2 of MMA Bro podcast. Any final remarks or comments?
Luis Pina's a really good fighter too.
Oh yeah, Violent Bob Ross. He has like the best nickname ever.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win that one too.
Yeah, I think he'll probably.
But yeah, I also want to say, not too sure if it's clear, but Steven and Brian are the homies. Care about those dudes. We all joke around like this, so
yeah,
it's just our sense of humor.
And it gets even like crazier and like when we're like on private text, because man, like we just blow up on each other like straight up like all the time.
Yeah, we're just...
And I don't know why we're friends. We just piss each other off all the time. I'm just kidding. I'm just like, no, but yeah, they're all the homies. Yeah. After you just roasted us, even for the first 5 minutes. But yeah, shouts out to all of them. Shouts out to the Awkward Sidehood podcast. But yeah, episode 2. This has been the MMA Bro podcast, and yeah, my name's Lex.
This is Jesse,
and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Laters.
Bye guys.
Adios. Buenas noches.
Claro que sí.